What differences exist between DC's Suicide Squad and Marvel's Thunderbolts*? The superhero film industry has seen numerous changes and experiments with characters and plots, all while entertaining viewers for decades with recognizable characters and stories full of bravery and inspiration. One such experiment involved the creators wondering what would happen if the roles were switched, with the burden shifting from superheroes to villains and anti-heroes. DC's Suicide Squad and Marvel's Thunderbolts* were created at that time. Power in the hands of anti-heroes was a concept that Marvel and DC experimented with, willing to try to set up some of the most dubious characters for a mission. But there is no greater contrast between the Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts*. To find out how Marvel's next endeavor will separate itself apart from DC's well-known series, let's examine their histories and characters. Marvel and DC experimented with the idea of power in the hands of anti-heroes, willing to try to set up some of the most dubious characters for a mission. But there is no greater contrast between the Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts*. To find out how Marvel's next endeavor will separate itself apart from DC's well-known series, let's examine their histories and characters. Even though we started by contrasting Marvel's Thunderbolts* and DC's Suicide Squad, there are notable differences between the two teams. Although they are both seen as a collection of outlaws and misfits who wouldn't make the best additions to a super team, Marvel's team is positioned to win over the public, while DC's crew is sent on a suicide mission. The creator of this concept was none other than Captain America's adversary, Baron Helmut Zemo, who saw the ideal opportunity to control the populace and acquire worldwide dominance, following the defeat of Earth's heroes by the conqueror known as Onslaught. But he needed a group of conspirators to carry out his plot. At that point he brought in Moonstone, Beetle, Screaming Mimi, Fixer, and Goliath at DC's Suicide Squad. Who are they? Amanda Waller assembled DC's Suicide Squad as a group of disposable villains to work for the US government, in contrast to Thunderbolts, who were assembled by Baron Zemo following the collapse of the Avengers. Additionally, the DC villains were equipped with an explosive device to guarantee their compliance throughout missions, in contrast to the Marvel characters who had the option of serving or departing. As a result, Amanda Waller's crew was on a suicide mission, hence the moniker Suicide Squad, even if Zemo permitted free will. However, there was one bright spot for the DC villains. According to the comic and the movie version, they were promised shorter prison terms in exchange for their potentially fatal government service. What distinguishes Suicide Squad from Thunderbolts? The main distinction between the two groups may be identified by looking at the motivations of the individuals, which is based on the previously provided hints regarding the two distinct franchises and their respective teams of misfits. The Suicide Squad members are threatened with death by the same individuals who give them orders if they disobey their laws, but the majority of Thunderbolts members are driven by a desire for atonement. Because of this, the Thunderbolts frequently straddle the line between right and wrong, because their leadership is always shifting, and they are not directed by anybody other than their personal desire to serve the public. The Suicide Squad, on the other hand, is led by Amanda Waller and has no hidden agenda other than to serve humanity. Consequently, the DC characters are not redeemable, whereas the Marvel antiheroes have the capacity to do so in the end. In the meanwhile, the Suicide Squad is the team that likely has a stronger advantage over the other.